Okay, let's now move on to item number 6, SB 464 by Senator Hurtado. Senator Hurtado, would you like to begin?
Thank you. Good afternoon, members. Last, I'm here to present SB 464. SB 464 also addresses feeding the residents of our state. It works to ensure there is greater equity in California's food assistance programs. Prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, approximately 1 in 10 Californians experienced food insecurity. The pandemic and resulting economic crisis has exacerbated food insecurity across the state, particularly among low-wage immigrants and their families. Undocumented immigrants, DACA recipients, temporary protected status holders, and certain visa holders are excluded from federal CalFresh and our state-funded California Food Assistance Program. These exclusions force immigrant households to make impossible choices between buying groceries and covering the cost of rent or other basic needs. This limits their ability to achieve economic security and upward mobility. SB 464 modernizes the California Food Assistance Program, expanding eligibility for state-funded nutrition benefits to anyone ineligible for CalFresh due to solely their immigration status. In doing so, the bill provides greater food security to low-income immigrant workers, helping lift them out of poverty, as CalFresh has proven to do. Here to testify in support, I have Betzabel Estudillo with Nourish, California, and Herling Isela Garcia, a working mother living in the Central Valley who would benefit from the program extension envisioned in this bill.
All right, thank you, Senator Hurtado. We will allow each witness up to 3 minutes. So let's again begin to start with the witnesses in support. So moderator, if you can please bring on the line our lead witnesses to testify, Betzabel Estudillo and Herling Isela Garcia. So we can first bring in Betzabel Estudillo first. Is there a witness on the line yet?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, please begin. Welcome.
Great. Good afternoon. Thank you, Chair Hurtado and members of the committee. My name is Betzabel Estudillo, and I'm a senior advocate with Nourish, California. I want to just start by thanking Chairperson Hurtado for her leadership on SB 464, known as the Food for All bill. This bill will reduce hunger and poverty by ensuring our state's nutrition assistance system does not discriminate on the basis of immigration status. I think as we all have seen and experienced, this pandemic is exacerbating hardship across our state, particularly among low-wage immigrant workers and their families. Many immigrant workers risk COVID-19 exposure to grow, harvest, and process the food that feeds our state, the nation, and the world. Yet their wages are so low or have to go without pay because of COVID-related illness that they struggle to provide food for their own families. UCLA researchers estimate that immigrants compose 36% of California's essential workforce, including over 1.2 million undocumented Californians working frontline jobs, risking COVID-19 exposure every single day for low wages. Despite working essential jobs and helping us put food on the table, undocumented and many other immigrant Californians are injustice excluded from CalFresh, the California Food Assistance Program, and other forms of assistance. An estimated 1 in 3 undocumented residents is a parent, and 90% of those parents live with U.S.-born citizen children. But our current CalFresh policy makes these parents invisible, only acknowledging those parents with the right kind of legal status. This exclusionary policy denies entire communities of the positive health and economic benefits of CalFresh participation, deepening disparities based on racial discrimination. And this is reported in research studies that show that access to SNAP, or as it's known in our state, CalFresh, improves overall health outcomes of low-income participants, saving costs over the long term. Research studies also show that children who receive SNAP CalFresh do better academically, which improves their long-term health and economic outcomes. So an investment in providing food assistance to all California immigrants helps us all communities thrive, improve our economy, and helps us weather crisis and economic downturns like the one we're experiencing right now. So how can this be done? So we have SB 464 that seeks to modernize the California Food Assistance Program, or as many of us know it as CFAP. So it looks to modernize our CFAP infrastructure to provide state-funded nutrition benefits to all Californians who are not eligible for CalFresh or CFAP due to the immigration status. This is a permanent solution that addresses the longstanding issue of food insecurity in immigrant communities and addresses the immigrant exclusion from our state's food assistance program. So in closing, this is the time for California to champion bold policies like SB 464 and put forth a different vision for our nation where all Californians, regardless of their immigration status, have the food they need. California has the power to make CFAP more inclusive and really be a model for the rest of the nation. Thank you, Chair and committee members, for your time.
All right. Thank you so very much. Now let's move on to our second witness, Herling Isela Garcia.
Hola, buenas tardes.
All right, please begin. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. Buenas tardes, senadora Hurtado y miembros del comité. Mi nombre es Herling Isela Garcia y soy miembro de la organización de Central Valley Immigrant Integration Collaborative, conocida como CIVIC. Soy madre de 3 niñas y vivo en la ciudad de Lindsay, California. Emigré de Honduras en el año 2008. Vine a este país porque no tenía otra opción. En Honduras recibí amenazas a muerte y mi vida estaba en peligro. Cuando llegué a este país, mi esposo ya tenía 13 años viviendo en Los Ángeles, California, pero llegué en el momento de la recesión, que fue algo también muy difícil, porque estaba sin trabajo. Nos mudamos a la ciudad de Lindsay porque alguien nos dijo que aquí había trabajo en el campo. Y sí, efectivamente encontramos trabajo y hemos estado trabajando hasta el 2008, que yo me lastimé mi brazo izquierdo y me rompí mis tendones. Trabajamos podando la uva, piscando limón y desde ese momento ya yo no estoy trabajando.
I can translate.
Mi esposo siempre sigue trabajando en la uva. Gracias a Dios él sí está bien. Mis 2 hijas que nacieron aquí en Estados Unidos han tenido CalFresh, pero terminé el programa porque cuando entró el presidente Trump, pues ya ve con el miedo que nos metía de que la carga pública, yo terminé ese programa. Luego un tiempo llegó ICE a buscar a alguien a mi casa y ya tuve más miedo y decidí no volver a agarrar ese programa. El pasado diciembre mi familia, todos nos infectamos de COVID y el que estuvo más enfermo fue mi esposo, que estuvo un mes casi postrado en la cama y todo ese mes no recibió el pago de su trabajo, ¿verdad? Porque estaba con el COVID y no teníamos suficiente comida. La verdad fue muy difícil porque tengo 2 niñas, una de 7 años y la otra de 11, y mi niña de 7 años fue más difícil cuando ella una noche me pidió comida y no tenía, y yo no hallaba qué hacer, no podíamos salir, estábamos en cuarentena. Y lastimosamente le dije, mami, no tengo que darte. Y me dice, mami, dame leche aunque sea. Le digo, mami, no tengo tampoco. Y mi niña se tuvo que ir a la cama, pues lastimosamente sin comer. Y yo les pido si por favor aprueban la SB 464, beneficiaría a muchas familias como la mía que tienen diferentes estados migratorios y que están luchando debido a la pandemia y la economía de este país. Les pido que por favor apoyen este proyecto de ley y hagan alimentos para todos una realidad, porque siento que no es justo que un niño de este país se vaya a la cama sin comer. Gracias por su tiempo y escuchar mi historia.
Thank you. And Senator Hurtado, you said that you wish to
Briefly, yeah.
provide a translation. Yes, thank you.
She stated she is a mother of 3 from the city of Lindsay, came from the country of Honduras back in 2008. Her life was at risk there. During that time, her husband lived in the city of Los Angeles, but she came during the recession, so they decided to move to the city of Lindsay because they were told that there was jobs in agriculture. They did work in agriculture, and they worked in grapes. They've been living through very difficult times given that they feared Trump and immigration. She said her husband became very sick due to COVID, was at home for at least a month, and they didn't have enough money to make ends meet to provide sufficient food for their family. She has a 7-year-old, and she recalls one night when her daughter asked her for food. She was really hungry, and she didn't know what to do. She was and didn't have anything to provide for her daughter. Her daughter said, well, can you give me at least some milk? But she hadn't. So she ended up having to go to bed that evening with nothing to eat. And she hopes that we can pass something that will help families like her and many more across the state of California that haven't had access to those types of benefits that would allow during difficult and economic times.
Thank you. And again, I want to thank both of our witnesses for your testimony. We're now going to move on to other witnesses in support. For this, it's name, organization, and position on the bill, which is SB 464. We'll begin in room 4203. Seeing no witnesses in room 4203, let's move on to room 2040. Seeing no witnesses in room 2040, let's move on to our telephonic line. Moderator, can you please open the lines for testimony in support of SB 464? And again, it's testimony. Yes.
Kevin Aslan, Coalition California Welfare Rights Organizations, strong support. Thank you.
Thank you. Next witness.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you wish to say a comment in support of SB 464, you may press 1 and 0. First, we go to line 41. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, members. This is Michelle Gill on behalf of California Immigrant Policy Center in strong support. Thank you.
Thank you. Next line.
Next, we go to line 61. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, members. Christopher Sanchez with Western Center on Law and Poverty, and we're proud to support this bill.
Thank you. Next line.
Next, we go to line 35. Please go ahead.
Libby Sanchez on behalf of SEIU California in strong support of this bill.
Thank you. Next line.
Next, we go to line 52. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon. This is Andrew calling from the National Association of Social Workers, California chapter, in strong support of this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Next line.
Next, we go to line 49. Please go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon. This is Andrea Perry representing No Kid Hungry in strong support of the bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Next line.
Next, we go to line 58. Please go ahead.
Hi, this is Veronica Arciga with Visión y Compromiso, and we support food for all immigrants.
All right. Thank you. Next line.
Next, we go to line 36. Please go ahead.
Hi, this is Esma Deania from the UC San Diego Youth Advisory Council in support of the bill.
Thank you. Next line.
Next, we go to line 34. Please go ahead.
Hello, this is Gabby Tilley with Nourish, California. I'm calling to read support on behalf of the following organizations. We have Bread for the World, San Francisco Marin Food Bank, the California Association of Food Banks, Hunger Action Los Angeles, Alliance San Diego, Spectrum Community Services, the California Food and Farming Network, Springs Charter Schools, Open Heart Kitchen, Everyone's Harvest, Sustainable Economic Enterprises of Los Angeles, GLIDE, San Diego Hunger Coalition, the California Climate and Agriculture Network, Friends of the Earth, Leadership Council for Justice and Accountability, Food for the People, the Food Bank of Humboldt County, Feeding San Diego, Latino Coalition for a Healthy California, and Rainbow Beginnings. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Do you need any more support, Senator Hurtado? Okay, next line.
Next, we go to line 43. Please go ahead.
Kelly Brooks on behalf of the County Welfare Directors Association and the County Health Executives Association of California, here in support.
Thank you. Next line.
Next, we go to line 38. Please go ahead.
Hello, my name is Benjamin Chow from the California Immigrant Policy Center, calling in strong support of SB 464, Food for All Immigrants.
Thank you. Next line.
Next, we go to line 33. Please go ahead. Line 33, your line is open.
This is Derek Folco at the Los Angeles Regional Food Bank in strong support. Thank you.
Thank you. Next line.
Next, we go to line 39. Please go ahead.
Hello, my name is Ivan Barragan from the California Immigrant Policy Center, and I strongly support SB 464, Food for All Immigrants. Thank you.
Thank you. Moderator, can you just indicate how many more people are on the line waiting?
Sure, let me count it. One moment.
Thank
you. We have 10 more.
Right. Okay. Let's go on. Next line.
Next, we go to line 69. Please go ahead.
Hello, this is Mayra Pelagio with Luna Latinos United for Any America, and we are in strong support of SB 464, Food for All Immigrants.
Thank you. Next line.
Next, we go to line 40. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, Amy Jenkins on behalf of the Children's Partnership and strong support. Thank you.
Thank you. Next line.
Next, we go to line 57. Please go ahead.
Hi, Deyanira Cuellar from the Central Valley Immigrant Integration Collaborative and strong support of SB 464, Food for All Immigrants.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next line.
Next, we go to line 53. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon. Jason Samaron for the California Alternative Payment Program Association, and we're proud to support. Thank you.
Thank you. Next line.
Next, we go to line 37. Please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Raquel Galarza from the Urban and Environmental Policy Institute at Occidental College, and we are in strong support of SB 464, Food for All Immigrants. Thank you.
Thank you. Next line.
Next, we go to line 66. Please go ahead.
Kelly Beam with HealthNet and California Health and Wellness, serving almost 2 million Medi-Cal members across California in support of SB 464. Thank you.
Thank you. Next line.
Next, we go to line 71. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon. Ezer Panintuan on behalf of Alameda County Community Food Bank in strong support of SB 464, and we thank Senator Hurtado.
Thank you. Next line.
Next, we go to line 70. Please go ahead.
Hello, I'm Stephanie Monterrosa from the National Health Foundation, and we're in strong support of SB 464.
Thank you. Next line.
Next, we go to line 72. Please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Sarah Diaz. I'm with the California WIC Association, and we are in strong support of SB 464.
Thank you. Next line.
Next, we go to line 44. Please go ahead.
Hello, my name is Angela Nelson on behalf of San Diego County Breastfeeding Coalition and strong support of SB 464, Food for All. Thank you.
Thank you. Next line. Do you have any more?
We have one more. We go to line 45. Please go ahead.
Hola, mi nombre es Erika Miramón y soy del grupo de Unidos por Nela y apoyo la proposición 464.
All right. Gracias. Thank you. All right. Anyone else on the line?
At this time, there are no others in queue.
Okay, thank you so very much. Now let's move on to the opposition to SB 464. There's no formal opposition that has been registered for testimony. So let's now move to room 4203. Seeing no one in room 4203, let's move to room 2040. Seeing no one in room 2040. Moderator, please open the lines for witnesses who wish to testify in opposition to SB 464, name, organization, and position. Please open the lines, moderator.
Absolutely. If you wish to speak in opposition of SB 464, you may press 1 and 0 at this time.
Moderator, is there anyone on the line?
Sí, apoyo la proposición 464.
All right, I wasn't sure if that was testimony. I think it's support. All right, moderator, is there anyone on the line and to testify in opposition to SB 464?
At this time, there are no one in queue.
All right, thank you so very much. All right, now let's move on to questions or comments from committee members. Questions or comments from committee members? Yes, Senator Kamlager.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to know if you could talk a little bit about where the funding is going to come from for this.
Yes, Senator Hurtado.
Thank you. That is something that we'll continue to work through along the process. But we're hoping that some additional funds would be available through the CalFresh program.
Appropriate time. Thank you. I'd like to move the bill.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, I just wanted to thank you, Senator Hurtado, for bringing this bill forward. I know that in the appropriations process and perhaps even in the budget process, we'll hopefully try to address some of the funding issues. But I think in terms of policy, this is an excellent policy. Would you like to close?
Colleagues, I respectfully ask for an aye vote on Comida para Todos.
Okay, thank you, Senator Hurtado. So the motion is made by Senator Kamlager is due pass, but first we refer to the Committee on Appropriations. Secretary, please call the roll.
SB 464, Hurtado.
Aye.
Hurtado, aye. Jones. Cortese.
Aye.
Cortese, aye. Kamlager.
Aye.
Kamlager, aye. Pan.
Aye.
Pan, aye.
So that bill currently has 4 votes. We'll leave the bill on call for absent members. Thank you, and I'll pass the gavel back to you, Senator Hurtado.